Hey, this is Lily, and this is the Literature Lounge. I'm here with
Mason
and Addie. As you probably already noticed, Liana and Michaela are not here today. Liana slipped on a banana peel, and Kayla got hit in the eye with a red shell. They are still recovering.
This episode is going to be about relationships and love.
We're going to start out the episode with Mr. and Mrs. March. So, a key moment that really shows their relationship is on page 124 when Marmee is talking to Joe about, their anger issues, basically, their hot-headedness. She said something that was so important and, having control in her own emotions was meeting Mr. March because he, tamed her and he was, the key to her happiness.
Yeah, and he always reminded her. I remember she talked about how he always reminded her, when her temper got too much, didn't she go and do something? She would, go knit? I don't know. She'd just, walk out of the room or something. On page 125, it says, I used to see Father sometimes put his finger on his lips and look at you with a very kind but sober face. Was he reminding you then? Yes. So, yeah.
That was Mr. March reminding Mrs. March to, keep her cool.
Mm-hmm. I have kind of a, personal connection to Marmee and the dad, because the dad obviously had to go off to war and he got sick, so Marmee then had to dip out of there and go to him. And my dad was actually in the military, so my dad's Humvee actually blew up. And so it was I don't know. To hear that in a book is, I don't know, kind of cool, I guess.
Is it
not
comforting?
Very cool.
Is it comforting, knowing, it's happened to other people and it's, being talked about?
It's, yeah, kind of. Because we didn't get to see a lot of Marmee and the dad's relationship, we are gonna actually move on to Meg and John.
Meg and John met on page 194. That's when the girls went with Lori on that beach day, and immediately they really connected. I think John had a crush on Meg first. It definitely seems like it because he kept staring at her and being very polite.
Yeah, I mean, it's also a gentleman thing. About the staring. The staring was not gentleman.
But what do you mean?
Being just polite is gentleman-like. But, yeah, I also think Meg was second guessing if they should get together or not.
I thought it was really sweet when I read it, and I was like,
this is right here at the game. Mr. Brooke chose Meg immediately.
Mr. Brooke,
peak flirting,
Meg.
Peak Riz.
It's giving fifth grade relationship picking teams for kickball.
Exactly. Stacey,
I thought
right?
she'd suit Brooke, but he keeps talking to Meg. Guys,
Ooh.
he was all over her.
Dude, what?
What do you mean by that?
With an inviting smile. That was kind of creepy. I don't know. This was one of the conversations they had. This is going to college, I suppose. Meg's lips asked that question, but her eyes added, and what becomes of you?
Whoa!
Okay, that's all I have on
her
them.
eyes.
For textual.
Okay.
We're
moving on.
We're moving on
to
already.
Joe and Lori.
Wait! I lied.
No. Oh my gosh.
Riley, our pants on fire, bro. Get out of here.
Dude, Joe and Lori and not Joe.
We're not getting there yet, bro.
Wait.
Shut up, man.
So, as we all know, Meg and John got married and they moved into their little house. And they had twins. They had little Demi and Daisy. And they were the little family.
Okay, controversial. I think that name is cute. Demi's not cute, but Daisy's cute.
Daisy's cute.
But they both start with D's.
Okay, but they wanted to name their kids John and Margaret, after themselves.
Isn't their middle names that?
And then they randomly whipped out Demi and Daisy. I feel
they already saw Demi Lovato and Daisy Duck.
They saw the future,
they
bro.
Saw that.
They're
moving on, we are going to Joe and Lori.
Okay, so Joe and Lori, the big thing. So they met at Lori and Joe met at the party that Meg brought Joe to, and they were both a little shy at first, but like as soon as Joe started talking, they were yapping, bro. They were good.
Because they're both introverts, bro. They don't like talking to people. I think it's because Joe was hiding there because she didn't want to talk to the rich, preppy white girls, and Lori was there because he had no friends and he was lonely.
I disagree. He didn't have any friends, yes, but I feel like overall he's a very social person. Next main event with that little pair is in chapter 35 when Lori begs Joe to marry him, and that does not go well. Joe rejects him.
Hardcore.
Later, she also regrets it.
Yes, we also have to talk about. She had a discussion with Marmee, and she was like, I don't know, if he asks me again, I might say yes. But Marmee said.
This is the key part.
Marmee.
Listen up, guys. On page 521, Marmee says, I don't think you suited to one another. As friends, you were very happy, and your frequent quarrels soon blow over. But I fear you would both rebel if you were mated for life. You are too much alike and too fond of freedom, not to mention hot tempers and strong wills, to get happy together in a relation which needs infinite patience and forbearance as well as love. So I feel like the as well as love implies that Joe doesn't truly love Lori, and she actually doesn't think. If you're in love with somebody, you don't need to think about it that much.
Yeah.
Especially, it was really complicated in her head.
And
but then again, you also have to think about her whole dad situation.
But Marmee perfectly summed it up.
She did perfectly sum it up.
I also agree that if you're too alike to someone, you can't spend the rest of your life with yourself. So if you have anything left with Joe and Lori.
At the party, didn't he comment about how pretty Meg is? He expressed it.
He had the hots for Meg, bro, at the beginning.
But wait, I have to disagree with that, because then remember when Lori and Meg went to that party alone? It was actually a very uncomfortable situation because Meg got all very dressed up and she came down and Lori was hesitant, and he's like, I don't like the way you look tonight. And he basically said that he didn't like when Meg got all dressed up, and Meg was actually very hurt by it.
Because I'm sure she was, I think she really liked being dressed up. She thought she was so pretty and she loved it. And
she just said she liked having fun with the girl.
That's the equivalent to a man saying you look better without makeup on. That's the equivalent right there.
It makes me feel good, you know?
Yeah, I didn't do it for you.
I like dressing up.
Trust, I didn't do it for you. But yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Anyway, moving on to Joe and Mr. Bear. Unfortunately.
Pedophile.
Okay, well.
I have some thoughts about this one.
So, they met when...
Joe went to New York.
Oh, yeah, for her writing?
Yeah, for her writing.
Okay, so Joe went off for writing, and I believe they met each other at some sort of professional environment.
Yeah.
And they stayed at the same building, and they had rooms next to each other. And so at first, it was very awkward and no chemistry at all.
It was purely, okay, this is really gross, but it was purely like teacher/professor and student relationship.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was just
a regular.
Mentor and
regular.
student.
Here's my juicy tea. The reason why they don't really have a ton of chemistry, as a pair in general, is because originally when Louisa wrote the book, she did not have Joe have a love interest. She actually never got married or anything. And her publisher said, you have to give Joe a love interest, or no one's going to read your book.
That's
right. He was forcefully created, so that might be why he's not.
It was
why he's a bad guy.
There's no depth to him, is what you're saying.
On page 575, during when Lori is proposing to Joe, I found further evidence that supports what Macy said about how Professor Bear was added later as a love interest. So Lori is talking to Joe. Don't tell me that, Joe. I can't bear it now. Tell what? She asked, wondering at his violence. That you love that old man. What old man? Demanded Joe, thinking he must mean his grandfather. That devilish professor you're always writing about. If you say you love him, I know I shall do something desperate. And then Joe said a little bit after that. It's just like, I don't know. He isn't old nor anything bad, but good and kind and the best friend I've got next to you. Pray don't fly into passion. I want to be kind, but I know I shall get angry if you abuse my professor. I haven't the least idea of loving him or anybody else. So, like, this, like, solidifies the fact that Joe was never supposed to get married, never supposed to have a love interest. She was just supposed to be independent. But, like, her publisher decided against it. So, yeah.
Yeah, like,
No one can
Because
judge him because he's
they
not
have no
supposed to be a bad guy.
history or chemistry or anything.
My favorite, okay, I want to say this. I'm not sure if we're going to talk about this, but my favorite moment with them is in the rain. That's the only good moment.
Oh, that's a good
That
moment,
was-
but it made me think of really awkward things because of the age gap.
Yeah, it was, I don't know.
It was weird, but I just, like, the way it was written was so uncomfortable to me because she was like, her wet skirt dragging in the puddles, and I was like, what is happening?
Huh?
Yeah, it's true. Weren't they, I
I'll be
imagined
ready.
it, like, weren't they going through, like, a town? And, like, I think
Yeah,
he had
like,
an umbrella, and it was,
Yeah.
and she didn't, and, oh my god, did they do, like, the umbrella rule? You know what the umbrella rule is? Like, where, like, the guy, so the person who's holding the umbrella has, like, their shoulder gets wet, but the person who's not, like, who's under the umbrella and not holding it is not getting wet at all, because the umbrella isn't big enough for both of them.
I've never
I
heard
don't
of
think
that.
they specified.
No, that would have been so cute! Oh my god.
I've never even heard
Addie
of
is
that.
a bit of a rom-com kind of gal.
Okay.
Last little thing about Joe and Mr. Bear, like, just an update on their life. Right now, they're living at Bloomfield. They have 2 kids, Rob and Teddy. Just so cute.
Oh
so
my god.
cute. She named her kid Teddy after
Teddy
Lori.
bears.
I want to know how that kid, how did that, no, because isn't his first name, like, Theodore or something like that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's really cute. But yeah, they have 2 kids and they're living at Bloomfield and they have a school with all these boys. So they're pretty chill. They still don't act like a couple, which is weird to me. But, you know, life is life.
I mean,
Was
at
the
that
age
point, what if they're like, I don't know, what if they're just like co-parents? Because didn't Bear come over with 2 kids? Didn't he have like a niece?
I
a
definitely
nephew, or
think that-
nephews?
Well, I don't really remember, but I remember him like always having kids in his room. I think his wife might have died.
Rip. Womp.
We might have to do some research, wait.
Yeah, look that up real quick. Because I know he had like 2 kids in there all the time, at least. Or it might just be like him teaching.
Was those age gaps, like that big of an age gap, that normal?
It was definitely normal. Like,
so then why are we thinking of it this way?
it's just modern, like the way we're thinking now. Because it's weird now. Unless like you got like a sugar daddy or like a sugar mommy.
Totally.
Alright. No, I can't find it, but maybe that explains the age gap because he probably did have a family before and then his wife died and then he turned emo.
Ooh.
Also, I feel like because Joe has so much depth to her because we know so much. When I say depth, so much depth to her. I can't even say it right. Depth to her.
Dead. Death.
Stop. That's gonna be really loud. Since Joe has so much depth to her, and Bear has none, and that's why he's older.
Bear
See
is
what I'm trying to
boring.
say? I saw that really badly.
She has layers, he's a brick wall.
Baby Bear
Exactly.
is boring.
Onions have layers.
letters.
Layers.
I just really want to say depth.
Anyway,
Depth.
are we good with them?
Yeah, I don't really care about them.
Moving on.
Wait,
Ah!
didn't they like, so Joe went to New York. She left New York to go back to her family. Bear later came back to see her. Her family, Joe's family, really liked Bear.
Yeah.
And then
He came for like a dinner party.
he came for a dinner party. He was about to leave, and he stayed. Isn't that when they met up in the rain?
Not
No.
exactly. Like, I remember him coming back to meet the family, but I thought he, like, went back and I thought it was... Oh, I think he had to go into town before he left, and she, like, went to go get
Yeah,
him
but she was
before
like,
he
wait,
left. To, like, say
wait.
goodbye.
Let me go with you.
Wait, don't go love her.
Yeah, something
Oh.
like that. But
By the way, guys, they're doing anime signs. They are.
For what?
no need for
You're
that.
like-
We are.
Yeah,
Don't act like you.
that was the vulnerable way to do it. Who's doing that?
Oh.
Anyway, I'm done with them because
I'm done
I
with them
don't
too.
fully support.
I like the age
So
gap.
next we have Amy and Fred.
Fred was awkward.
Amy and Fred also met at that party that Megan,
I saw
John met up at.
no chemistry between them like whatsoever.
Wait, right? Yeah, he was at that party.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then, but that was very brief. The
Oh, like the party-
majority.
The party where they talked about like and they made stories like that one. Okay.
I feel like Amy never truly liked
The,
him at all.
I am not finished introducing the relationship. But the most of the relationship happened when they went to Rome together. Like they were doing travels together, like a group of friends. And he was just very romantic and flirty, and they were just doing a lot of time together, you know? And then I believe Fred was like, "Don't forget me, man," and like, maybe we should get married.
Maybe.
And then Amy was like, "He is rich."
I was waiting
She
to
was
comment
a
on
little
that.
gold digger
Because
there.
that's her thing. Like, isn't that like her entire like love finding thing is like they have to be rich so
Yeah.
she can help her family, even if it wasn't love.
I feel like that was
And then that's why she contemplated it is because like she wasn't in love with him, but he had the money so he could help her. He could help her family.
On page 503 it says, "I've made up my mind, and if Fred asks me, I shall accept him, though I'm not madly in love. I like him, and we get on comfortably together. He is handsome, young, clever enough, and very rich. Ever so much richer than the Lawrences." So she was thinking about Lori,
dissing.
but she was like, "Nah, well, he got money.
But Lori's kind of poor. I'm going for that.
Lori's got a house in the United States and in Europe, but he has.
the prettiest dress.
He broke."
Is Amy madly in love with Lori then?
And then it happens again. We're on page 500. She says, "Fred is very entertaining and is although the most agreeable young man I ever knew, except Lori, whose manners are more charming. However, the Vaughns are very rich." So she
always
did
had
it
Lori
twice.
on the back of her.
Where she was like, "I love Lori, but man, I want that money more."
Yeah. Gold digger.
That's pretty much all I have on them.
Guess who it is now? It's Harper, Amy, and Lori. Amy and Lori.
Whoa!
Lori. I didn't do it. Lori.
How did she do it?
I stutter too much.
So on the topic of Amy and Lori, it kind of started. Okay, whoa. We're gonna go way back when. It started when Amy had to go live with Aunt March, and Lori came and saw her every day, bringing her flowers and stuff. We have specific examples. Let me bust them open. On page 300, it says, "Lori came every day and wheedled." These old people, bro. I don't know what they mean.
These old people.
Aunt March till Amy was allowed to go out with him when they walked and rode and had capital times. Oh my God, we have a special guest, Mr. Dimmitch.
Come in here, bro.
Oh.
No.
Come in here.
Come. Oh, unlock it. Lock it.
Yes, lock.
Oh, he's got a key. He's got a key. He's got a
We
key.
have an intruder in the room.
Hold the fuck.
Mr. Dimmitch, come on in.
Mr. Dimmitch.
Oh, he can't find his key. Oh, he's coming.
He got it.
We're doing a podcast. Do you want to be on our podcast?
Have you read Little Women?
What?
Have you read Little Women?
Have I read Little Women?
Yeah.
No, bro.
That's an old book. That's
Yeah.
an old top novel.
Mhm.
Poor Mason. She's just struggled with the short straw.
Cause she's short.
Whoa, whoa.
I'm just talking about having me on YouTube.
It's tragic, really.
What? Right, it's your 6th hour.
Yes.
I know, get the hell out of there. So I know. I told you I went to 5th hour.
I was cable.
Can't help. Okay. Bye.
Bye. I didn't know he liked
The yogurt.
the yogurt.
That was Bestie Dimmitch in the how. The next page that I marked was page 305. It says, "On the table she kept a vase, always full of the best flowers Lori brought her." So cute.
Yes, that's foreshadowing.
And one more that I really like about them was page 489. It says, this is Lori talking to Amy. "If anything happens, I'll come and comfort you," whispered Lori.
Whispered.
whispered. Okay, Lori.
Okay, I got onto that real quick.
But yeah,
That eats.
she clung to Lori, the last lingerer. The update of Lori and Amy, they're married, of course. And they had a child. Her name is Bess. Bess? Literally B-E-S-S. I don't know.
Bessie.
Bess, old Bess. But her real name, like, that's just her nickname. Her real name is Elizabeth. So I
Like
think
Beth.
they named her off.
Beth, yeah.
Which is so sweet. And, like, you wouldn't think of Amy because Amy and her weren't, like, really close. But that's so sweet.
But you would think that, what's her name? Joe would name her child after Beth. Because wasn't it like, it was Meg and Beth, and then it was
Yeah, but
Joe and
she
Amy.
didn't have a girl. But, like, Meg
true.
had kids the first. She had the first opportunity. But anyway, and then I don't know why I'm gonna add this, but like their child was like perfect. Like she was super kind and beautiful, and everyone worshipped her. Anyway,
Like in this book or in Little Men too?
and Little Men. Our last point for this episode will be a little closure statement by our dearest Adai.
Upon my word, I was so tumbled up in my mind at one time that I didn't know which I loved best, you or Amy, and I tried to love both alike, and I couldn't. And when I saw her in Switzerland, everything seemed to clear up all at once. You both got into your right places, and I felt that it was well off with the old love, before it was on with the new, and I could honestly share my heart between Sister Joe and wife Amy, the love between both dearly. Sister Joe and wife Amy. On page 644, Lori says, I'm never angry with you. It takes two flints to make a fire. You are as cool and soft as snow. Which kind of, I feel like he's referencing Joe when saying that. Because right now he's talking to Amy. I think, yes, he's talking to Amy. So I keep calling Lori she. He definitely is talking about Joe. I don't know why I can't.
And a similar book that has a situation is Hunger Games, where Katniss and Gale were like always gonna be the ones to get together, but when she went into the games, she met Peeta and they fell in love, and she said she couldn't be with Gale because she was fire and Gale was fire. She made that like direct reference too. And she said she needed Peeta because that's like the water to her fire. Like she doesn't need fire on fire. So I definitely think Lori and Amy is like Katniss and Peeta.
It's definitely an opposites attract situation because this is coming from me, a romance reader. Whenever I read books with opposites attract, they always have the best chemistry. Like Sunshine and
It's Golden Retriever and Black Cat.
yes, they always have the best like chemistry because usually like the Black Cat's like a little depressed and like the Golden Retriever is like happy and like optimistic, so like they balance each other out and they always end up helping each other out. So yeah, I think that's why Amy and Lori are definitely a good pair.
Yeah, they would. Wait, hold on. Oh. Ooh, a little ASMR for you guys.
What are you doing? I'm gonna break it. You're gonna break it. You're gonna break it. No. That's gonna be so loud.
Okay, wait.
So Liana and Kayla aren't here today because Liana slept on a banana pill. Liana and Kayla aren't here today because Liana slept on a banana peel and Kayla got hit in the eye with a red shell.
That was so fast.
Liana and Kayla are not here today because Liana slipped on a banana peel and Kayla got hit in the eye with a red shell.
She started holding her breath.
Okay, wait.
Mr. Walters is a bot.
Like after we're done, I have
Who's saying we're moving on?
Oh, you are.
Why me?
You carried.
Yeah, good job.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're judging us, brothers. So judging us. They wish they were like us.
We're carrying. Carrying
Okay,
on.
okay.
Okay.
Can't wait to meet you.
I
Join
don't
the
know. I can't find
animatronic
that,
family. We
Oh.
open real soon. So just My name is Regina George, and I am a massive deal. I don't know the rest.
It makes it as an alcoholic.
Yeah, what you're hearing right now with that little twist is her vodka.
My vodka cran.
Vodka cran, bro.